Most important decisions you'll ever make when starting a company is deciding whether or not to bring on a co-founder. For my current company, Virtually, I decided to do it alone. And today, I'll talk about my experience being a solo founder going through YC. Heard about being a solo founder. You can't get into YC, you can't build a successful business, and you can't raise venture capital. These are all myths. Look, having a co-founder is going to greatly help you with all these three things, but there's always an exception to the rule. And even with YC, they specifically call out in their website that they do accept solo founders. And in my batch, there were about 10% of companies that were doing it completely alone. YC's most successful companies were actually founded by people who were originally solo founders and then added a co-founder later. Example of these companies include Coinbase and Dropbox, both worth now billions of dollars. Let's discuss the trade-offs of having a co-founder versus doing it alone. First advantage of being a solo founder is the ability to make decisions lightning fast. Given that you don't have a co-founder, you don't have somebody to run decisions by. Instead, you can choose a direction and execute very quickly. Another benefit of being a solo founder is having additional equity to spare. When you start out, you'll have 100% of the company, which means you can pass on these savings to your early employees and hire really top talent. And lastly, this is maybe one of the most important benefits of being a solo founder is no risk of a co-founder breakup. When YC talks about the top reasons that startups fail, co-founder breakups is among the top 3 reasons consistently. Co-founder breakups are demoralizing and completely can derail an entire company. So one of the benefits of being a solo founder is that this is a non-risk. Let's talk about the disadvantages to being a solo founder and why having a co-founder could be in your best interest. The first disadvantage is the fact that you need to hire early. When you are a founder or a group of founders, you can grind for little to no pay in the early days, but that's really hard to do when you're a solo founder and there's so many hours in the day. Airbnb had 3 co-founders and they spent years trying to find product market fit. In that time, they didn't have to worry about paying out health insurance, 401k benefits to early employees. Instead, they just tried to earn enough so they could pay their own living expenses. This is called ramen profitability. When you're a group of founders, it's pretty easy to minimize your expenses because you realize your compensation is really going to come in terms of equity if your company is successful. This isn't the case with early employees. You actually do need to pay them, and while equity will help reduce their cash compensation, they'll still need quite a bit more to get by on their living expenses. Advantage number 2 is that not having a co-founder means there's no one to challenge you. And while you might be able to move lightning fast, you might be heading in the wrong direction. Having someone there to challenge you and question your underlying assumptions is actually a really good thing. It means that you won't waste a ton of time and resources sprinting in the wrong direction. And the third disadvantage of being a solo founder is that it's lonely. Startups are really hard. And when you hit a roadblock, when things aren't working out, when a customer fires you or you have to fire an employee, there is no one to make it easier. Sure, you have your advisors and your mentors and your friends and your family, but a co-founder in the trenches will feel the same pain, and often having that can make it easier to get through hard times. Going through YC as a solo founder was particularly challenging. You're racing towards these demo day goals, but you have nobody to split the burden with. When you're going through YC, you're working day and night to hit these goals, and ideally, it would be really nice to have somebody who can focus on the product and somebody who can focus on acquiring customers. For me, I had to do both of them, and it meant that I got little to no sleep throughout the entire batch. By using the funding that I had in the bank, I was able to hire contractors and outsource a lot of the work that needed to get done. This helped a lot, and ultimately we were able to successfully raise nearly $2 million after YC's post-demo day. If you're applying to YC as a solo founder, you really need to showcase that you know the industry inside and out, and that you yourself are the right person to build and sell the product. Getting into YC as a solo founder is particularly tough if you're non-technical. So make sure that if you are applying, that you do so with some sort of capabilities to build the product that you're planning on selling. In an upcoming video, I'm going to be reviewing and sharing feedback on YC applications. So if you're applying for the upcoming batch, the YC Summer 22 batch, and are okay with me publicly sharing your application, feel free to fill out the form in the description, and I might choose yours to review in a future video. That's all I have for today's video. If you found this one helpful, would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. With that, this is Ish, signing off.